All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about effective user experience design. And this is one, to me, it gets me, I react, people will talk about, hey, I had a customer down in Australia, mining customer. We've got these simplicity screens that we've built over 10 years. We haven't done any, we built them 10 years ago. We haven't done any investment in them. I don't like them. They're complex. My operators aren't. It's a hard problem, right? We make a one-time investment in deploying a SCADA system. We think we knew 10 years ago or 20 years ago what was the right way to deploy, to create screens. We created a visual representation that looked like the plant so that they immediately understood the context. People are smarter than that, right? They don't need a photorealistic HMI screen of the plant or of the piece of equipment. You can provide them better information. So the question is, are you willing to make the investment in giving the operators better information with the data you already have? Before you even get into AI, right, can you do a better job of creating focus on what that operator has to look at, right? And there's a bunch of techniques, right? There's how does the human eye, we are Westerners. This is not for Japan. Japan has a different model because they read in a different direction, right? But all of us, our eyes scan in two different ways, and F and Z. So F is here, 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 right? So for complex screens, that's the way your eye's going to react. You can't control it. It's just the way your eyes work. Then there's the Z method, or the Z path, right? Where you're scanning and then you go back like this. So the F is kind of like, almost like 3 little Z's built in. And so but depending on what you're trying to show that person, like, you need to design a screen for the different path that their eye is going to take if you want them to know. So there's a whole science now around high performance HMI. And people think, oh, that's bringing screens up faster. That's not what high performance HMI is about. Yes, we have to do that too, right? We have done that. High performance HMI is, how do we turn that operator, how do we improve the performance of the operator who's looking at the HMI screen by giving them the important data and bringing their eye to what's actually important. So that's simplified graphics. That's simplified color schemes. That's not complex graphics that the eye has to then search for the piece of data, right? It's consistency of layout, right? It's organization and having things look common and allowing for drill downs because, I see a sea of blue and I see some yellow and red. I see some yellow. Those are the things that should jump out at me on a screen. Everything should be kind of calm if it's normal. And where the operator's attention has to be, there should be color. I think there's another example here. Right? And then simplification. Like, these are relatively complex. Did I really need, maybe, did I really need a pump picture or a valve or a pump picture? Maybe, because now I know I've created context. But it's subtle. It's not, these aren't black screens with one-line diagrams on them. They are simplified. And I think this is interesting to me, right? That's, the best to screen design is like, if I take something away, I really have impacted the value of that screen. It's not what can I add, it's what can I take away. And when I have to stop, if I can't take anything else away, then I'm at a good screen. Color palettes, display modes, and people say, oh, these look great, they look very modern, right? They don't look like my SCADA screens. Well, okay, that's because whoever built your SCADA screen, this is an evolving science, right? So I urge you to think about, go back and look at your SCADA screens, right? Try a pilot. Can you actually provide better contextualized data to your operators just by investing in the screens in the system you already have with new screen designs. Not necessarily cheap, but it may be better than alternatives of an operator missing an important alarm, or missing something that was important that they should have seen that's caused a disaster, right? And it goes back to like that reducing eye strain. Again, very calm color palettes and only highlighting where the eye needs to go, right? Emphasizing abnormal situations. So probably more screens than pages that are needed, but it's actually an important topic. So I will tell you, we are starting to look at are there AI-based techniques that we could allow a customer to kind of to recommend rebuilding screens. We're nowhere close to having good output of this yet, but it is something that we're starting to think about. You think, you know, Gen AI is pretty good at building images. I was laughing with one of my coworkers the other day about the AI-based headshot that she had in a presentation, right? It's pretty good at images today, right? So we're starting to look at how could we take AI and recommend or rebuild screens to solve this. So more to come on this. We're going to work on tooling, but I urge you to go out and look at your HMI screens. Think about how complex it would be to actually for that operator interact with that screen. And could you start a pilot to say, can you get better outcomes by just investing in rebuilding maybe some of your most complex screens. Maybe they need to be multi-level and you need to simplify what's on the screen and bring their eye and let them drill in. Important outcomes.